There are only a few things in this life of mine that I seriously dislike. And wasting time and wasting money just happens to be at the top of that list. And as I was thinking about my time in college and how often I really used my college degree, I started to realize that going to college was really both a waste of time and a waste of money. However, I am not bold or ignorant enough to make a statement like that without having some factual evidence to back it up. So that's when I decided to make this video. In this video, I will be going over the 3 main reasons why I feel that my college degree is useless and also what I wish I could have done instead. This video isn't meant to down going to college. In contrary, I think it's meant to do the exact opposite. I think going to college is actually pretty cool. It opened doors to new opportunities that you wouldn't have access to otherwise. Although the entire process of going to college, getting accepted and spending a lot of money is just a little bit too inefficient for my taste. So if you think you're finding any kind of entertainment or value in this video, I really appreciate it if you tap that like button for your boy, as it really does help my channel out and allows me to reach a little bit of a larger audience. But with that being said, let's get started. Alright, the very first reason why I think my college degree is useless is that you waste so much time going to school, studying things that you don't need to know. Now, I know that this is an argument that you hear a lot, but the fact still remains that you take so many classes that you don't need just to have an opportunity to go into your major and then take more classes in order to graduate. I am in the camp that education overall is a very good thing. Obviously, as I said, I am not against going to college, but what I am against is being forced to study subjects like history, art, and even algebra in some majors just so I can get my college degree. Now, I know that this argument has been stated quite a few times, so let me try to explain it in a little bit of different terms. I relate a lot of my thoughts back to things financially and through investment terms. So when I think about college personally, I define it as an investment in myself or an investment in intellectual knowledge. And through that investment in intellectual knowledge, I would expect it to appreciate over time. So as I get older and hopefully more wiser, I am able to build on that knowledge that I learned in college and then gain more expertise on that. So in simple terms, I would expect my college education to be an appreciating asset. But what I see happening in my mind and what I see happening way too often is that my college education is a depreciating asset because I don't use 90% of the knowledge that I gained in college. All of the unnecessary classes that I was forced to take could have been taken out and shortened my college education by at least 2 years. Now, for me personally, it's hard to put a value or a price tag on the opportunity cost of those 2 years, but it kind of makes me stop and think, how far along in my career could I actually be had I not wasted 2 years of my college education studying things that I absolutely do not remember to this day? I really don't want to beat a dead horse here, but in my mind, it's kind of like making a lawyer go to medical school for 2 years just so they can have the opportunity to study law. That really doesn't make sense to me because it's not what they're trying to go to school for. I know that there may be some people who think that having a general level of education is a good thing and that we should appreciate the lower learning subjects so that we can build up to the more advanced stuff, and I get that, but I just don't see how history matches up to a business degree. However, this isn't the only factor going into why I think my college degree is a little bit useless. And the second reason why I think my college degree is pointless is that even though I majored in finance and I have a job in the financial field, most of the information that I learned in college was not applicable to what I do in the real world environment, meaning that I spent so much time learning all of these different formulas, learning all of these different equations, passing all of these tests, only to use about 10% of that knowledge in the real world environment. Now, I don't think that this is all of the college's fault because they can't know exactly what you want to do after you get your degree, but I do wish that ratio of practical knowledge was closer to 50% rather than closer to 10%. It goes back to me thinking that college is a waste of time because you spend so much of your time learning things and taking tests that you will never use outside of that college environment. As a finance major, I learned a lot of terms and equations that would help me if I was trying to teach somebody else about finance, but in the actual field itself, I felt that I was unprepared for everything that life had to offer for me. What I'm trying to say is that when I got my first job, I thought I would be fully prepared to be successful in that field because for one, I was passionate about it, and two, I spent the last 4 years learning about it. But I quickly learned that I had to relearn everything that I thought I knew about finance in order to adjust to the real world environment. And that's just another reason that made me think, why did I go to college in the first place if I had to relearn all of this stuff once I got out of it? I think that there's a big reason why Elon Musk himself doesn't put a lot of value on a college degree, because at the end of the day, how much does it really mean? I think that a person who is willing to learn and willing to take on new challenges on the fly will be just as successful in almost any particular field, maybe subtracting a doctor or a lawyer, as someone who has a 4-year degree in that field. Now, I know some of the things I'm talking about may be specific to finance. Like I just said, if you are a doctor or a lawyer or a person in a career who requires specialized knowledge, then I'm sure a college degree will be much more valuable to you, even though I'm sure that there's going to be some classes that you take that don't make any sense at all in regards to the career that you're trying to pursue. Now, the third useless thing that I find about going to college piggybacks more on not having any practical education. And that is that you're not taught any kind of financial literacy while you're in school. With me even being a finance major, I was not taught anything in a single one of my classes about personal finance, about how to manage my money, about what to invest in at a young age. Now, I would say that some of my friendlier professors did provide some color into what they got invested in at an early age and how you should invest your money early to get it compounded over time, but that was only mentioned in passing conversation. It was definitely not a topic for any specific discussion. And what I wish would happen is that institutions who are already charging an obscene amount of money would allow you to have a class or a curriculum to teach you about how to manage your money once you get out of college. Now, I know that money and personal finance is a taboo topic to a lot of people, and not a lot of people are comfortable with exposing their financial situation on the internet, but I do feel that it is important to be honest about personal finance because honestly, most people have no idea what they're doing in terms of budgeting and investing their money. And the only way we would know how to do it is if our parents taught us. And not to sound like a naive millennial or anything, but our parents grew up in a different time than what we were in today. So the idea of always saving money and never investing any of it doesn't really fly in the 21st century as it would have in the 1980s. So that's why I think that higher learning institutions like universities can step in and educate the youth on financial literacy. The book that provided me the most value in college was not a textbook, but it was a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and that book completely transformed my way of thinking about personal finances. Even though I was always someone who subconsciously knew that I couldn't spend all of my money, that I had to save some of it because you never know what can happen in the future, I still did not realize how much information I still needed to know in order to put myself in the best position financially. The book Rich Dad Poor Dad didn't teach me everything I know about personal finances, but it sort of kickstarted the interest that I have now, and that's what led me to read countless of other books in order to educate myself about my personal finances. And I didn't even read that book until I was a junior in college, and by the time I read that book, I had $15,000 in auto loans and about 3 maxed out credit cards. And even though I was almost drowning in debt, I was in a sort of delusional state because I felt that I was doing what I needed to do financially because I was able to meet all my bills on a month-to-month basis. So in order for college degrees to be a little bit less useless going forward, I want that former students like you and I can go and pitch financial literacy curriculums to the universities just to see if we can get some progress towards adding it to the mandatory curriculum. How is it possible that we have to learn algebra, have to learn English writing, have to learn history, but we don't have to learn personal finances? Which one of those subjects would really have the greatest impact on us later on in life and something that we can continue to use every single year after we graduate? For me, I think it's financial literacy, and it doesn't really make much sense as how it's not already included. At the end of it all, I don't want you to leave this video thinking that I think that college is a complete waste of time, because there are a lot of things that I really do like about going to college. One of those things is that actually having a college degree may open doors to new opportunities that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And those new opportunities can be in the form of job offers, business offers, or anything in between. And also the value of a college degree is still perceived to be pretty high. Unless you have someone like Elon Musk, having a college degree over someone who doesn't have one tends to put you in the next tier in terms of whether they want to hire you or not. Now, I'm not saying that that person is any more motivated or will do a better job, but from a black and white perspective, our society makes the person with a college degree look like a better candidate than the person without. And to an extent, I feel that that is how it's supposed to be. However, what is lacking is the actual preparation to be better in that position, not only to look better. But with all that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I find it pretty fun to make polarizing videos like this, where I stand completely on one side of the fence and don't try to ride the middle of an opinion. But I'm really interested to hear your thoughts about a college education. Do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's not worth it? I didn't even talk about student loans in this video, and that's an entirely other conversation. So whether you think a college education is worth it or not, leave a comment down below, as I like to read and respond to every single one of them. If you found any kind of value in this video, I really appreciate it if you smash the like button for your boy, as it really would help my channel out and allow me to reach a little bit of a larger audience. Videos like this will be coming at you every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.